Hello, dear wonderful beings. Welcome to this new series of videos. This is Corina White Feather, mother of the Remembrance Sign. White Feather is an author, an artist, and called to guide us, humanity, and all beings into the new. My name is Awai. I'm supporting White Feather on all levels, and also with the focus right now, the global movement to spread the layout of the Remembrance Sign and also the co-creation with it. We initiate this new series of interviews to bring the Remembrance Sign closer to you. So you have the opportunities to ask questions that will then be answered by White Feather. And very important, to note that White Feather does not know the questions beforehand. So everything that is recorded here is spontaneous. So let's dive in.
Thank you very much.
White Feather, you very beautifully described in your books and also in your last video on the YouTube Remembrance Sign channel, the birthing process of the Remembrance Sign. So I am wondering, how on your journey you were on, did you know that the time now is exactly the time the Remembrance Sign wanted to be born onto planet Earth?
When things like that happen to me, usually there is a preparation phase in which I sometimes perceive something is coming, but I don't know what. I just feel there is a preparation, and I follow the guidelines, I follow the guides, I follow the intentions very attentively, but sometimes unconscious. I don't know it yet. In the case of the Remembrance Sign, which was one of the most profound things that came through besides the crystals, I would say, or the new information to the crystals, there was one moment where my body was almost laid flat. I needed to go back into the van and lay down in the middle of the day. And all of a sudden, quite quick, after I was laying down, I was thrown into a journey and showed a couple things. And I was even told to have a sign, and it was kind of like shown a little bit to me, but just a little bit. I'd have to tattoo it somewhere on my body. And I said, I'm gonna find a way to put it there, but I'm not gonna do a tattoo. And then the next step came very intensively with Mother Earth, absolutely intense and deep encounter with Mother, at that time still Mother Earth. I heard its voice. It was talking to me. I also perceived that once I walked to these pools in the middle of the night, the sky was clear. As soon as I laid into those natural pools, the sky was covered. So I knew exactly, okay, it's about inbound, not outbound. And then after that bath, I was very much thrown into a deep state of consciousness. A few hours later, I drove away from those pools after I've laid down. And as I drove away, it cried with me very, very intensively. I knew something profound is about to happen, but in the moment you cry, you just know something is going on, but you don't know what. And I think it was 2 days later when there was a severe storm, and I tried to park my car somewhere, and I knew it wasn't the right spot. And actually I drove back into a spot where the van was shaken more. It was shaken more. And all of a sudden, like, it was like 10 or 10:30 at night when it said, now the sign that was shown to you is now coming through. And that itself is written in the book. I don't want to go too deep, but it was very, very intense.
Thank you for sharing this very, profound and very moving story of the birth of the Remembrance Sign. It really, I feel it touches me very deep inside.
Yeah.
So, So was it like clear from the beginning to you, this is called the Remembrance Sign, or did this come later?
After it was drawn, which was a process by itself, but it happened quite fast. I really had to, I mention it anyway, because I really had to cross out any design spirit that's within me, because I am also a designer and an artist. So I really had to, and that when you design or when you're an artist, you're always an instrument for God, for Great Spirit, for however you want to name it. But there is also a part of you that's co-creating. But in this case, I had to put that co-creation away and concentrate on what wanted to come through only. So I was in a complete zero state, complete. And after it was born, I said, now what? What is this? And then I started to realize I needed some brain food. And after that, I said, and now if that's so profound, how is it called? Mm-hmm. And it came in Remembrance Sign. And I did know the word remembering or remember, but I didn't know the word remembrance. So I thought, what the heck is this? And I even had to go on the path with the word remembrance itself. And as I was I met someone who told me about remembrance. I went on my own exploration path until I understood what it really means and why it's called the Remembrance Sign. Very profound, and I had no clue in that moment.
And how or why is it that the Remembrance Sign wanted to be, or why is this exact point in time the right time for the Remembrance Sign to be manifested on planet Earth?
Yeah, that's a very good question. It is the time now, because life on this planet is going from one side to the other, if you want to call it that way. It's really the exploration or the process, the transformation that this planet is going through now is so profound and includes so much radical changes. There is the need for the Remembrance Sign. We can go deeper into this in another interview, but that's why it's here now, and it may and needs to spread to the people who really want to make these transformations, who really want to shift, and for them to be supported through the Remembrance Sign. It's very important. It's not just for humanity, it's for nature as it is. So it has a profound influence on water. We will probably do some other interviews about that. It has a profound influence on places that have to be reawakened or reharmonized. It works for animals. I sometimes work with my doggy for my doggy with the Remembrance Sign. For the last 20 years, I've been talking about these transformational times, and it has gotten closer and closer and closer. I mean, it's like a needle. It got more and more narrow. And when it was birthed, it was about 6 years ago from now. And I think, yes, it would have, and it did, serve humanity right from the beginning. But I needed that time as well to understand, yes, there is something to it, because I kept not wanting to believe it, because why me? Why? But I mean, it has to be someone, and it's here now. And why we are giving such an emphasis now is because now it really, really, really needs to go to the people and animals and places and waters where it's calling, and it's calling so loud. So, yes. I mean, I could talk and talk and talk. There's so much to say about it, but yes, it needs to be with the people now, so we can release the old, so we can heal, so we can completely zeroed out grow into the new. So really co-create a world without ego, and the Remembrance Sign supports us with that.
Thank you from my heart for your words. It's really, I'm really amazed to hear about the story, and also deeply touched. Yeah, how you describe or how it happened and what you're sharing, and it's so important. I feel its importance, and I want to thank you very, very much. And yes, so if you have questions to White Feather, please put them in the comments, or also write us an email. You find all the important information in the description. And yes, we are so happy to hear from you. White Feather is happy to answer your questions. Yeah, and to grow the circles of beings who go this way together, who are supporting this global movement to spread the layout of the Remembrance Sign and the co-creation with the Remembrance Sign.
Yes, and thank you very much for supporting this, because we need that, and more people really feel the essence of the Remembrance Sign. So come join in, and let's start and move this movement together. Thank you very much.
Thank you.